vibe. Is this a bargain or a teaser rate? DoorDash on the overlap and James trying to make something happen. This is chaos football with a delivery fee. IMO, tell me that isn't the market. 1 second it's orderly possession. Next minute, Wendy and Bluto are pressing like mad. AMO, they're throwing Rocket Mortgaging around, save up to $12,000 like a last-minute winner. What's the fine print vibe on these mortgage promos and how should viewers read up to in this market? IMO, we're getting hit with a blitz of ads. Rocket Mortgage Savings, Toyota Reliability. Give us the quick market angle. Are these brands playing defense in a shaky consumer cycle or flexing real strength?
Mostly promo noise. When you see 4.99% and certified everywhere, it's dealers and lenders trying to manufacture demand, not celebrate it. Real confidence looks like fewer incentives and steady pricing. This feels like a team protecting a one-goal lead.
Toyota ad just dropped 4.99% financing. Feels like value investing in 30 seconds. Any quick take on how rates like that play in consumer demand?
Yeah, that 4.99% is basically a temporary rate cut from the manufacturer. Pulls demand forward when shoppers are rate sensitive. It's like switching to a high press for 10 minutes. You might steal a goal, but it can fade once the promo ends. Belgium's still pinned at 66%, but bid depth just slipped meaningfully. Some buyers stepped off even while the quote holds. That's classic scoreboard unchanged, energy fading. And if that 0.63 wall gets tested, you could see a quick air pocket.
This Belgium-Egypt hype feels like a market opening bell. Golden generation versus breakout story. Give us the value versus growth angle. Who's the blue chip? Who's the moonshot?
Totally. Belgium's the blue chip. Priced rich, deep liquidity, everyone already owns it. Egypt's the moonshot. Cheap ticket, thin support, and if momentum flips, it can gap fast. Great upside, but you'll feel every tackle.
Goalless earlier, sure, but don't let that fool you, Jules. This one feels like it's got fireworks tucked under the turf. Belgium's got that silky control, Egypt's got that razor blade counter, and the first goal here could flip the whole World Cup mood.
That 0.66 sell wall is getting heavier. Overhead supply is building even though the quote hasn't budged. Feels like Belgium's trying to play out from the back under pressure. One sloppy touch and you're suddenly trading down into that.
Yeah, you can feel it. Players with points to prove are the most dangerous currency in a World Cup. Belgium want to announce the new era with a bang, and Egypt are sniffing for that statement win. One spark from Salah and the whole place ignites. Absolutely. This is the kind of night where reputations get rewritten in 90 minutes. If Salah's been quiet at club level, the World Cup is the perfect megaphone. One burst, one finish, and suddenly everyone remembers exactly who he is. That first World Cup win is a mountain Egypt are desperate to climb, and you can bet they'll fight for every inch of it. But Belgium won't donate anything. This is where favorites either flex early or get dragged into a dogfight. Exactly. Group stages are like a stock opening bell. You want green candles early, not panic selling. Belgium need a fast start, a clean performance, and a couple of goals to lay down the marker, because hesitation here turns into trouble later.
Even with the book feed down, the tape's screaming one thing. The whale just added another big chunk to Belgium AT 0.66, and that's a momentum captain's armband moment. When one account keeps buying size, the crowd tends to follow, until it doesn't.
Exactly. You want to set the tone early because a draw like Spain's can feel like leaving money on the table. It keeps you alive, sure, but it invites nerves into the next match, and suddenly every chance feels twice as heavy. He's talking expanded format and still a chance. Can you riff on that, like risk management, playing for a draw versus going for the win, and how early points change the pressure curve? IMO, Belgium wanting to prove a point feels like a blue chip trying to reclaim its valuation. How do you see that pressure versus Egypt's underdog upside with Salah as the catalyst?
Yeah, Belgium's wearing the favorite tag like a pricey multiple. Anything less than dominance gets sold. Egypt's the underdog call option, low expectations, and one Salah moment is a headline catalyst that can reprice the whole match in a... Now we're seeing a little air come out of Belgium's support. Total bid depth slipped, and that top bid slid down to 0.61, even though the spread's still tight. That's like a team dominating possession, but losing midfield battles. If buyers don't step back in
Goosebump stuff. Every player standing a little taller, every note like a drumbeat in the chest. This is the calm before the storm, and you just know the first tackle is going to snap us straight into reality. If you can hear it, soak it in. This is the heartbeat of the whole night, the kind of sound that turns legs into engines, and the moment it fades, it's all business. One whistle and the emotion has to become execution.
Belgium's price is holding, but the bid cushion keeps shrinking, depth sliding while the Row 67 sell wall is still there, so upside looks capped unless fresh money shows up. That's classic late game legs. Favorite still ahead on paper, but momentum's getting a bit. Belgium's bid depth just ticked back up a bit, so buyers are still marking their man and defending that 0.65 line. But the real tell is Egypt's ask depth dropping sharply. If that keeps thinning, the long shot can start to feel live fast.
Belgium's anthem rolling around the stadium like a wave. Pride, pressure, and expectation all wrapped into one. And Egypt are listening too, because in a minute this turns from ceremony into a 90-minute argument settled with boots and bravery.
Belgium's bid depth just took a real hit, and the top support popped up to 0.63, still priced at 0.65, 0.66, but the floor is getting thinner. Meanwhile, Egypt's bid firmed at 0.12 with more size, like the underdog final. Belgium's liquidity is leaking fast. Bid depth down again, and that 60 shelf is basically the last real defender before you feel an air pocket. If sellers lean on that 0.66, 0.67 area, this can turn into a quick counterattack move.
And now Egypt's anthem, listen to that roar. It's not just the fans, it's a whole country leaning forward at once. Salah's got that captain stare like he's already picturing the first chance. This is where dreams start trembling.
Belgium just got a fresh bid wall right, 0.65. Top support moved up, so buyers are stepping in to defend the favorite again. But that 0.67 offer is still the parked bus. Until it clears, this is more grind than breakout. Not much follow-through. Belgium still pinned 0.65, 0.66, and the depth is basically flat, so this is a stalemate in midfield. The tell is that 0.67 supply keeps reloading. Until that wall cracks, buyers are just running possession drills.
IMO, this feels like a high-stakes IPO night. Belgium under pressure to rebound, Egypt chasing a breakout moment. Give us a quick market-style take on who's got the momentum and who's priced to disappoint.
Spot on, Leo. Belgium's still the blue chip favorite, but it's trading heavy with that 0.67 sell wall like a packed defense. Egypt's the call option. Cheap, but if Belgium's bid support wobbles, the crowd can flip fast and the upset gets repriced.
That's the storyline, isn't it? Belgium desperate to rewrite the last chapter, Egypt chasing history with both hands. Derek and Rob will guide it, but the pitch will do the talking, and it's about to get loud. IMO, that line about power feels like a rallying cry before kickoff. Give us a quick market-style analogy. Pressure, expectations, and who's got the momentum like a stock about to break out.
Absolutely. This is a heavyweight stock with sky-high expectations, and every little wobble gets punished like a missed penalty. Momentum's with whoever clears that overhead supply first. Until then, it's all pressure and no price discovery. Belgium's still stuck in that 0.65, 0.6 chop, but the bid stack at 0.65 is holding like a disciplined backline. Ask depth just eased a bit, so if buyers press, you could see a quick pop. Otherwise, it's another possession-heavy grind.
That ad's talking like a manager at halftime. Keep believing, keep asking, keep pushing. But the only power that matters now is what these players do with the ball when the whistle goes, because the scoreboard doesn't do motivational speeches. That Bank of America power to do ad is pure motivation. Tie it to markets, resilience after a bad quarter, keep asking, like keep investing. Give us a quick finance-flavored punchline. Oh, the legends stroll in like blue chip stocks. Everyone expects the old money to win, and bang, 2 quick goals flip the market. And now the kid squares up, fearless. This is where reputations get cashed or crushed in one touch. Lays on the banner, crunch in the stands, and the World Cup coming like a tidal wave. Fox is already warming up the hype machine. IMO, that's branding pressure like a high press. Everywhere you turn, someone's trying to win the next touch.
Now you're seeing supply creep back in. Belgium ask depth jumps and that 0.67 wall thickens, so the breakout's getting marked down. Egypt bids also thinned, which screams risk-off positioning. Crowds bracing for a controlled Belgium win, not a track meet.
Seattle's baking, Puget Sound shimmering, and here come Belgium. Big pedigree, big expectations, like they've brought their own spotlight. Egypt won't care about history, though. In this heat, it's about who keeps their legs and their nerve. Big gloves to fill for Egypt, and you can feel the nerves and pride. New keeper, same Al Ahly DNA. He'll be praying his first big save comes early, settle the heartbeat. And Salah, he's the kind of player who turns a quiet night into a headline with one swing of that left boot. That Villa spine in midfield gives Belgium a proper engine room, steel and swagger, the kind that wins second balls and hearts. And with Trossard floating around, you can feel the sparks already. One clever touch, and Egypt could be chasing shadows.
That's a cleaner, bullish look. Belgium bid depth keeps building while the 0.67 cell wall is getting chipped down, so pressure's tilting upward. Meanwhile, draw and Egypt bids are evaporating. Money's rotating into the favorite like a late-game squeeze. Belgium's still pinned at 0.66, 0.67, but notice the sell side liquidity is swelling again. More supply waiting to fade any pop. And that draw book looks messy with a weird top bid down at 0.01, which screams thin, jumpy liquidity if sentiment.
Mo Salah leaving Liverpool after a decade, massive brand move. Give us the market angle, value, sponsorships, and what a transfer like that does to club and player stocks.
Yeah, that's a franchise quarterback walking. Liverpool's commercial engine takes a hit short term, while the destination club gets an instant jersey and sponsor pop. Player brand equity usually re-rates higher if the new league boosts visibility, but the fee and wage...
Belgium still dripping with stardust, but you can see that new generation itching to grab the spotlight. This is a squad that can purr or pounce. And Egypt, they've got that stubborn pride, the kind that turns every tackle into a statement and every counter into a warning. Here we go then, boots tapping, hearts racing, and you can almost hear the tactics being torn up the second the ball rolls. Strap in, because this has classic written all over it if the first 5 minutes are anything to go by. The stadium's holding its breath. This is that delicious moment before kickoff where anything feels possible. If either side starts fast, you can forget the chess match. It'll be fireworks and frantic defending from the first whistle.
Whoa, Belgium just got air-pocketed. Bid-ask slides to 0.65, 0.66, and depth collapses, so the big money support looks like it stepped off the pitch. With those goofy 0.01 bids and 0.99 asks showing, liquidity's basically a mirage.
Belgium in their red, and you just feel that swagger, like they're walking out with a soundtrack playing in their heads, but in this kind of heat, even devils can wilt if Egypt make it a scrap early on. Yeah, Egypt will happily park it deep and dare Belgium to pick the lock, then spring like a trap when you overcommit. If those wide men tuck in and Moose's pace gets a sniff of space, Belgium's backline could be turning and chasing in a hurry. That high line is a tightrope, and Egypt will be itching to shove them off it with one straight ball in behind. And on the other side, if Doku and Castagna click, you're talking about a left flank that can turn defenders into traffic cones. Oh, Haney's going to be seeing red all afternoon. Doku running at him, overlaps coming, little 1-2s trying to pull him apart like a cheap suit. If he doesn't get help from his winger, Belgium will keep flooding that channel until something cracks. That center-back pairing will be under the microscope. Belgium will probe, poke, and try to drag them out of shape with movement through the middle. If Egypt stay compact and win those first duels, they can make this feel like a long, frustrating day for the Red Devils. Yeah, that's a proper exam paper for Belgium's backline. Egypt's got winners in their DNA. They won't be intimidated one bit. And for Mikulek, every clearance, every header, it's like a job interview with the whole stadium watching. In those 1v1 moments, Courtois is like a closing door. Strikers think they've got daylight, and then bang, it's gone. If Belgium's high line gets caught, he's the safety net, but you don't want to be relying on your keeper like a fire extinguisher every 5 minutes.
Belgium's price holds, but the bid depth just shrank again while the ask side stays stacked. This is a market leaning long with not much real support underneath. Feels like a team camped in the opponent's half with a shaky backline, one counterattack, and you're scrambling.
Courtois is ice cold, isn't he? Rarely gives you that gift-wrapped error, just swallows chances whole. And that Lille lad, he'll fancy himself in these tight little combinations. Ooh, and that flick, that's cheeky. That's trying to light the fuse. Oh, that's a fun twist. Your keeper moonlighting up top, Rudy Garcia rolling the dice like it's a poker night, and Hassan, Egypt's goal machine, he's the kind who smells a half chance like blood in the water. Salah's got a mountain to climb there.
Belgium book just slipped to 0.65 or 0.66, and bid depth cratered to 87K versus 719K. Asks, whale trimmed from 11.46M to 10.51M shares. Feels like momentum turning. Can you frame it like a team losing midfield control?
Yeah, that through ball idea was on, just needed a touch more weight, one of those passes that's either genius or a goal kick. If Salah starts buzzing around Mamamouche, defenders will feel like they're trying to catch smoke. Look at that front line constellation, stars everywhere, and Belgium's back line are squinting like they've seen headlights. Mamamouche is electric, and with Zico sniffing around, that left side is starting to feel like a trap door. Number 8 drifting left is a real curveball. Belgium will hate that because it messes with their markers and opens those little pockets. With Musa tucked in behind Mamamouche, it's like a shadow striker waiting to pounce on the second ball. Egypt are shaping like a sneaky 4-4-2 up top, always itching to spin in behind. One sharp run and Belgium's line is in trouble. And with a few lads still untested at this altitude, you can feel the nerves. One bad touch and it's sirens. 4 caps at this level, and he's being asked to track Mamamouche and Musa. Welcome to the deep end, son. One glance the wrong way, and Mustafi's darting into that blindside channel like a thief in the night.
Belgium's bid depth is rebuilding, but price can't get off 0.65, 0.66 because that sell side is still a parked bus. Draw bids are creeping up too, classic insurance policy flow. So sentiment's confident but not cocky, like A1 it'll lead with 20 minutes left.
That's the cue. Hit it early, hit it hard, and let the runners race onto it. If Egypt time this right, Belgium's center halves are turning and chasing, and that's when panic starts to creep in.
There's your slip. Belgium ticks down to 0.64, 0.65, and win prob softens, which screams the bid support blinked first. With that ask wall still towering, any bad headline is a quick breakaway the other way. Crowd still pro-Belgium, but the momentum just turned.
Seattle's buzzing tonight. This place hums like a power line when the game gets going. You can feel the crowd pulling Egypt forward, every tackle getting a roar, every breakaway getting that sharp intake of breath.
Belgium's trying to stabilize AT064, 0.65 with bids ticking up, but it's still playing uphill into a big wall of supply. Meanwhile, the draw-ask depth just ballooned. Market makers are basically widening the anything-can-happen lane if Belgium doesn't score early.
He's barking instructions, trying to get the gears turning, and that's what you want from the touchline. Clarity, urgency, no passengers. But that ball out left just drifts, and you can hear the crowd groan as the move fizzles. Salah on his birthday under these lights, what a headline. Even if that last Liverpool chapter wasn't the fairy tale, Anfield's seen him paint masterpieces, and you just sense he's itching to do it again here. One burst, and the whole stadium holds its breath. De Bruyne just snaps it back like a metronome. Tick-tock, Belgium keeping the tempo. Onana's offering himself again, trying to pull Egypt out of shape, and you can feel the pressure building with every crisp pass.
Belgium bids are still sturdy, but that ask depth just swelled again. Someone's leaning on the price like a defender, clearing every cross. Draw and Egypt liquidity popped back up too, so the market's hedging its confidence. We're stuck in midfield until a...
Belgium are purring now, shifting it side to side, looking for that one crack in the wall. Doku's got that street football swagger. One shimmy and he's gone. If he gets a yard, somebody's in trouble. Oof, that was nearly the moment. De Bruyne hovering like a shark at the edge of the box. One clean contact and it's fireworks, but it just won't quite sit up for him there. Yeah, for De Bruyne, that's a rare little miscue. He sees the ocean of space, but the ball clings to his boot like it's got a grudge. Still, the movement around him is sharp. Belgium are finding pockets and asking questions already. That left side is a conveyor belt of danger. 1-2, 1-2, and suddenly the box is creaking. De Bruyne's lurking in that sweet spot, ready to pull the trigger, but the final touch just won't fall kindly yet. Imo, they're calling him mentor more than metronome now. Love that. Any market parallel when a star shifts from driving the tempo to guiding the next generation?
Belgium's bid depth just surged again while the ask stack thinned. Buyers are finally winning the physical battle at OI64, and that's how you set up a breakout. But Egypt's ask depth jumped hard, so the upset is still being priced as a live counterattack if Belgium slips.
Absolutely. When he's trying to steer the ship and the waves don't listen, you can see the steam coming out of him. But that edge is also what makes Belgium tick. If they match his tempo, he turns into a one-man control tower. Egypt are no mystery box. They're streetwise and stubborn. Qualifying on a march and a deep AFCON run tells you they don't blink under pressure. Belgium can't sleepwalk here. This lot will turn one mistake into a dagger. Yeah, it's that classic Egypt shape. Tight, compact, like a door bolted from the inside, and then bang, Salah on the brake like a sports car in a school zone. If Belgium gets sloppy in possession, those two can make it hurt in a heartbeat. That's the trap, isn't it? Invite you in, nick it off your toes, and suddenly you're chasing shadows. If Belgium's holding mids dither for a second, Egypt will pounce and spring Salah like a rubber band. Egypt trying to lure the press but not comfy on the ball. Turnovers in midfield could swing momentum fast. Any quick market-style take on how risk in possession changes a team's game plan? Imo, that's a nasty little clip on Salah. Ref's got a decision brewing. Give me your market reaction take. Does this kind of early foul spike the risk premium and change how teams invest in aggression?
Belgium just ticked up to 0.65, 0.66, and the market's basically saying favorite stays favorite. But look at the collapse in bid depth on draw in Egypt. Liquidity's evaporating on the upset side. That's classic late chasers piling into the front runner while everyone else backs away from.
Anah's a proper ball hawk in there, snaps into tackles like he's late for a flight. And he's still jawing at the ref, isn't he? Trying to buy a little advantage with the chat while the game's bubbling away. Ha! Everyone loves a good whinge, especially when the lungs are burning and the tackles are flying in. But you're right, Derek, this has started with real bite, like someone's turned the volume up from minute one.
Egypt just got marked down a full cent to 0.112, 0.13, while Belgium holds firm, momentum's staying with the favorite. But Belgium bid depth is thinning again, so this is more price drift on light volume than a knockout punch.
Trossard down by the chalk, and that flick beforehand was pure velvet. Just kissed it into space. You can feel Belgium's confidence rising here like a wave building, and Trossard's got that something's on look in his body shape.
Now Belgium slips a cent to 64, 0.65, while the ask wall balloons over 1.1 M. Supply is stacking up like defenders parking the bus. Draw and Egypt bids are finally perking up, so the market's hedging. Still Belgium led, but the easy money.
That targeted kicking feels like a tactical foul, like a calculated hit to stop momentum. In market terms, it's a deliberate circuit breaker. What's your take on teams investing fouls to manage risk?
Exactly. It's like paying a small premium to avoid a bigger drawdown. Take the yellow risk now to kill a transition later, but it's a tight risk budget, one mistimed hedge, and you're down to 10 men. Game state flips fast.
10 minutes gone and it's still locked at 0-0, but you can sense the tension tightening like a drum skin. The keeper takes a breath, slows it down, and this Emerald City crowd is just waiting for someone to paint the first stroke of magic. Salah on the ball, head up, looking to thread that little slide rule pass. He loves that moment where the defense blinks. But if the lane isn't there, it's a trap, and suddenly you're chasing shadows the other way. Salah tries to sneak it through with Zico making the run, and suddenly the Egyptians are all arms in the air. Where's the whistle? Marmouche hovering nearby like he can smell a loose ball. This is getting spicy.
Belgium just pushed back up to 0.66, 0.67, and the win odds tick higher. Classic momentum trade, like they've pinned Egypt in their own half. Draw and Egypt bids are drying up, but that big ask stack still looms, so any bad headline in this can snap back fast.
Yeah, I'm with you. Marmouche isn't that classic penalty box battering ram. He's more of a slippery operator between the lines. But at Atalanta, he's learning to live in the danger zone, and that evolution can flip a match in a heartbeat. IMO, both sides playing without a true number 9. Feels like a market with no clear blue chip leader. How do you read that kind of false 9 volatility in terms of momentum and risk?
Totally. Nailed it. Fast VAR is like a clean repricing, but a long review turns into a volatility auction, and everyone panics into bad fills. If Egypt stays sharper early, that's the classic underdog counterpunch. Momentum can flip even while Belgium.
Yeah, that little law tweak is huge. If the officials can correct a wrong call quickly, it saves a match from boiling over for the next 20 minutes. It's like VAR with a shorter fuse. Less drama, but maybe fewer riots in the stands. Exactly. If VAR's swift, it's a clean fix and we move on. No lingering bitterness in the tackles. But if it drags, the crowd turns, the players simmer, and suddenly every 50-50 feels like a courtroom appeal. Quick VAR reversals feel like market corrections. Fast fixes calm everyone, slow ones spark chaos. Also, Belgium expected to dominate possession, but Egypt starting sharper. Thoughts on momentum swings?
Belgium's slipped a tick to 0.65 to 0.66, while the ask wall got even thicker, nearly $1 million on the offer. So buyers are running into a parked bus. Draw bids are perking up, which tells you the crowd's hedging for a grindy, low conversion game.
Egypt have to pick their poison here. Let Belgium's center backs have it and shut the doors, or step up and risk getting played through like a hot knife. Jessanana's the kind you tempt into possession, then spring the trap when he tries that progressive pass.
Belgium still stuck 8-0. Absolutely, cards are like surprise rate hikes. They tighten risk instantly and force everyone to play smaller. One more.
That's the classic take one for the team foul. Salah's just too slippery, and the defender's legs are screaming for mercy, but now he's living dangerously because every chase from here feels like it could be his last. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, FS1, lock it in. And right now, Dackel's got to keep his head after that booking because one more rash step and he's walking a tightrope with no net.
Belgium just ticked up to 0.66, but the sell side ballooned to 1.07 M. This is a rally running straight into heavy supply. Feels like a team pushing numbers forward, but there's a wall of defenders waiting to counter if the next chance doesn't convert.
Refs handing out cards like dividends. Salah booked again, tempers rising. Any quick take on how discipline swings momentum like market sentiment?
Belgium's price is holding, but bid depth just collapsed to 72K while the offers are still massive. This is a thin bid under a heavy ceiling. That's the kind of tape where one scary moment flips sentiment fast because there's not much support if sellers press.
Seko's throwing those feints like a magician, one way then the other, and the defender's hips are begging for a timeout. Castellnuno's sticking tight though, trying to use that fullback savvy to shepherd him away from the danger zone. Garcia's got that reputation now, built winners with Leal, and you can see the confidence in the way his side moves, like they've bought a first-class ticket on the fast train. The tempo's rising, and the bench looks like it believes something's coming. Brussels to London, it's a quick hop, but Courtois makes it feel like the journey ends at a brick wall. Safe hands, calm head, no panic. When he's in that mood, attackers start second-guessing themselves before they even pull.
Exactly. Refs can be like markets in denial. They let a few warnings slide, then suddenly the risk premium spikes and cards start flying. Once that threshold's crossed, players trade more cautiously, and the game slows like liquidity drying up. Belgium's still pinned 8.65.66, but that ass depth is back over 1.07 M. Supply is basically parking the bus in front of the goal. Draw probability ticking up to 23% tells you the crowd's starting to hedge for a scrappy finish.
Nasty challenge, nowhere near the ball, player down in real agony. Feels like a reckless bad investment moment. Got a quick take on risk management when emotions spike.
With the book offline, I'm watching positioning. That massive Belgium long is the elephant on the pitch, and if sentiment turns, the unwind can be ugly and fast. Until we see liquidity again, assume wider swings. This is trading in the dark with...
That tackle was reckless. How's there no whistle at first? Yellow card finally comes out. Feels like a market that ignores bad news until it can't. Give us your take on refs pricing in fouls late. That's the nasty clamp tackle. Late, reckless, and it screams danger because the player's got no control once he commits. I'm stunned it took so long to get whistled. You can't let that set the tone. Someone's ankle pays the price. Imo, quick one. Javier's got that World Cup pedigree. Dad was Egypt's keeper in 1990. Any legacy player angle you see, pressure, brand value, marketability, like a blue chip name on a young prospect? Oh, I remember it, Imo. Those games were tighter than a trader's wallet in a bear market. Everyone sat in, pinched space, and goals were like blue chip dividends, rare and celebrated when they finally arrived. Cape Verde have been the headline, no doubt. Keeper standing tall like a skyscraper, swatting everything away and keeping the Giants honest. But right now, this match is still begging for a spark. That first goal feels like it'll crack the whole thing open. Salah's got his body between man and ball like a seasoned street fighter, just inviting that little nudge for the whistle. The defender's twitchy here, one wrong step, and it's a set piece in a very dangerous postcode. Imo, they're name-dropping Anfield and Seattle on the broadcast. Give us your quick market move take. Does a free kick here feel like a catalyst event, like a stock waiting on earnings?
Totally. Set pieces are the earnings print of football. One clean strike, and the whole probability curve reprices in seconds. And with the book already tight, a goal is like a gap open. No gentle drift, just instant new levels. There it is. Belgium just ticked down a cent to 0.64, 0.65. A little air coming out after that long stalemate. Bid depth actually firmed up, but with that giant ask wall still looming, rallies look like they'll get sold like a team parking the bus.
Ah, Musa. One of those names that can mean trouble in a heartbeat depending on which Musa you're talking about. If he's anywhere near the ball now, Egypt have to be sharp because that's the kind of player who sneaks into the story. You can feel it, trying to purr like Arsenal did, but right now it's more splutter than symphony on that flank. Trotter drifting inside is the little trigger, and if Munir overlaps at pace, suddenly that right side can bite. Yeah, you can see it on the right. It's a square peg in a round hole, the timing just a fraction off, and it kills the rhythm. Compared to that silky left side, this feels like driving with the handbrake on. Exactly. If De Mooner's staying home, that right side loses its spark and it all gets a bit predictable. Belgium used to fly down the wings like a carnival ride. Now it's more cautious, more measured, waiting for the perfect moment.
That cell, totally. This is a regime change, like a surprise downgrade where the multiple compresses instantly. With that much ask side depth sitting above, any Belgium bounce could get sold into fast, and momentum money starts leaning Egypt.
Asawa just unleashed an absolute rocket after Salah kept it low. Wonder Strike, give us your market shock analogy for that hit, Imo.
That's a headline CPI-style surprise. One print and the whole market gaps before anyone can refresh their screen. You could feel the liquidity vanish for a beat, and suddenly the underdog trade looks like it's got real momentum. Yep, and now the market's treating Belgium like a fallen angel. Still respected, but no longer priced like a sure thing. With that heavy ass depth overhead, Belgium needs a clean... That's a full-on momentum reversal. Belgium's price is now playing defense, not offense. And with that big Belgium whale stuck long way above, any bounce can turn into forced selling, like a team chasing the game and leaving acres behind.
That Egypt goal just flipped the whole market mood. Belgium's safe bet aura evaporates in seconds. Crowd noise and game state are like a shock to investor confidence. Suddenly, everyone's pricing in panic and possibility. That goal's a market shock. Belgium's price just got punched in the mouth. Crowd and momentum are like liquidity. Once it shifts, the favorite suddenly looks fragile and everyone reprices in real time.
Absolutely. Momentum is the new liquidity provider, and Belgium just lost the bid. With that huge Belgium whale long 8.66, any squeeze attempt can turn into a scramble to de-risk, like defenders clearing it anywhere under pressure. Belgium's bid depth just surged, but price isn't lifting much. Classic support shows up, conviction still missing. With that giant ask stack still looming, this feels like a slow build-up play. One bad turnover and Egypt gets another clean break.
Oof, talk about a comeback story. Broken collarbone, and now he's back in the furnace, and Egypt are dancing. That opener was struck like a thunderbolt, and Belgium suddenly looked like they've seen a ghost in red. Imo, Egypt strike early and Belgium are rattled. Feels like a market shock candle. Give us your take. How do teams react when the blue chip favorite suddenly drops behind? You can feel the old scars itching again, can't you? Belgium wobbling the moment the script turns against them. Egypt have lit the fuse here, and now it's about whether the Red Devils steady the ship or sink in the noise. Egypt lead it, and you can feel the tension crackling as we hit this little breather. Perfect time for Belgium to regroup and stop the bleeding. But Egypt will be loving this rhythm break like a boxer leaning on the ropes with a grin. He didn't hesitate for a heartbeat, just pure conviction, laces through it, and the net nearly files a complaint. Now Belgium have to respond fast because Egypt are smelling blood and the crowd's roaring for more. And there it is, Belgium bites straight back, no time for sympathy, just cold efficiency. Tielemans steps up like a man with a point to prove, and suddenly the momentum swings like a pendulum in a storm.
Now Belgium's finally stepping up a tick to 41-42, and that bid depth jump is real. Buyers are pressing higher up the pitch. Egypt's bid depth also refilled, so this is turning into a two-way market where any headline moment can rip the spread open.
That strike has rattled Belgium like a bad earnings report. Suddenly, everything feels a step slow and a touch shaky. It's the kind of goal that doesn't just change the scoreline, it changes the temperature of the whole stadium. Imo, Belgium look rattled like a market hit by a surprise downgrade. Quick take, how do teams stabilize after a shock goal, and what's the safe asset move here?
Totally. After a shock goal, the best teams go back to basics. Slow the tempo, win second balls, and stop forcing hero passes. In market terms, the safe asset is liquidity. Stay near the top of book, don't chase, and let price come to you. Belgium just slipped back to 0.40, 0.41, and you can feel the air come out. Bid depth is thinning while the sell side stack keeps towering. Egypt ticking up toe 31.32 is the momentum trade, like the underdog winning the midfield and forcing the favorite into rush.
Lenovo AI helps you do a lot. Yeah, like Belgium right now, it needs to help them do the basics first. If it can track runs and cut out the silly mistakes, I'll take 2 subscriptions and a clean sheet, please.
Belgium's price is stuck 8 0.40, 0.41, but the bid depth just surged. Someone's defending the line even if the crowd's still nervous. The draw market's perking up too, and that chunky offer at Yo30 says traders are bracing for a scrappy late-game stalemate.
Well, that ad's covering more ground than a box-to-box midfielder. Everywhere means everywhere, apparently. And David's backyard for the World Cup, if he builds it, I just hope the pitch drains better than my Sunday League park. Oh, that's a punch right on the bell. First real look in Egypt, make it count. Seattle's gone quiet for a heartbeat, and now you can feel the whole match tilt. Do they chase or do they steady the ship? Powerade's pushing official World Cup drink and 50% more electrolytes. Hydration as a blue chip play or just marketing froth? Give us the quick market angle. Yeah, it's been a bit of a chess match. Comfortable until that one moment flipped the board. You can sense Belgium trying to funnel it into Doku's lane, but the sharpness has to return fast because one more lapse and this gets very messy. Exactly. Egypt are purring now, sitting in that sweet spot where they can spring the trap on the counter. Belgium have to force the issue down that left, but every pass forward feels like walking a tightrope with no net. You can see Egypt's shoulders rising. Every tackle, every clearance, they're believing more and more. Belgium have got to find a spark quickly because this is turning into one of those long, frustrating spells where the clock feels like it's running twice as fast. Nana's got the memo, no doubt. He's reading the game like a seasoned pro and keeping it tidy under pressure. Those are the players coaches adore. No fuss, just doing the job and calming the storm. IMO, Belgium's shape looks like a well-run portfolio. Disciplined holding mid, De Bruyne as the blue-chip playmaker. Got a quick market analogy for that kind of risk management under pressure? James Corden doing the wrap-up. Let's hope he's got the energy of this match because it's bubbling. And with Zlatan and Haaland on the bill, that's like inviting 2 volcanoes into the studio. Someone's ego is getting nutmegged tonight. That studio's gonna be box office. Amo, Zlatan, and Haaland in one room is like putting 2 strikers in the same.
Belgium just ticked down to 0.40, 0.41. Small move, but it's the market leaning risk off as that ask wall eases a bit and bid depth firms up. Egypt's bid depth got cut in half, so if momentum turns against them, there's less cushion, like a defense stepping up with no cover. Now Belgium's win prob dips to 40% and that ask depth swells again. Buyers are getting met at the door, so rallies look like they'll be sold into. Egypt's bid depth just rebounded sharply, which tells you the market's hedging the upset risk rather than chasing Belgium. That goal flips the tape. Egypt's the blue chip with momentum, and Belgium's suddenly a high beta turnaround play that can gap either way. You can see the pain trade. Big Belgium longs are still crowded, so any further Egypt pressure forces ugly de-risking fast.
Exactly. Too heavy and it spills like bad stock, too light and it sneaks in, and Courtois nails the perfect middle ground. That's elite goalkeeping, the kind that swings tournaments, and you can feel Egypt thinking, what do we have? Ugh, Doku gets clipped right on the edge and the ref doesn't hesitate, straight to the pocket. That's a statement booking, and you can sense the temperature rising. Belgium will fancy that flank even more now.
We're back live and you can see the momentum tilt. Egypt firming 80.33, 0.34, while Belgium leaks 0.37, 0.38. Buyers are rotating to the side with the ball, but that Belgium ask wall is enormous, so any comeback needs a real catalyst.
Refs booked it instantly after Doku's late challenge. Egyptian bench furious, saying ball was already out. Give us your market reaction take. Does that early yellow change risk appetite tack? Yeah, that's a nailed-on yellow. Once you come in like a runaway train, you're asking for trouble, ball gone or not. Doku's still prowling that right side, shifting the angle like a winger with a chessboard in his head. Belgium smelling blood down there.
Yeah, that's like a regulator dropping a warning letter. Suddenly, everyone de-risks the next tackle. Belgium's defenders play with one eye on the book. Egypt presses harder and momentum shifts because the market prices in one more mistake, risk.
Bench furious over that late wipeout on Doku. Reckless challenge after the ball's gone. Give us your market reaction take. Does that yellow change the risk profile for Egypt's defense and invite Belgium to target that side?
Totally. One yellow is like a stock hitting a circuit breaker warning. You can't play the same aggression without paying a premium. Egypt's backline will shade off that channel, and Belgium will probe it like a winger hunting the booked fullback.
Doku's trying to twist the picture, isn't he? Same paint, different brushstroke, just to make the defender hesitate for half a second. And you can see the backline recalculating on the fly like someone's just changed the market conditions mid-trade. He feints the change, then still darts inside. Same movie, different soundtrack. Belgium need that runner beyond him, someone to stretch the pitch and rip open a lane, because right now, Egypt can just shuffle across and smother it.
Belgium ticks down to 0.36, 0.37, but notice the bid depth just surged. Someone's stepping in to defend the line like a center back, throwing his body in front of shots. Still, that $1 million ask overhead screams supply, so rallies may get sold into fact.
Exactly. When it's predictable, defenders start stepping in like they own the place. Salah's lurking there like a loaded spring, and if Belgium gets sloppy in that channel, he'll cash it in instantly. One touch, and it's panic stations. Everything funnels to Salah, and he just shrugs off the challenge like it's a light breeze off the Nile. So strong on the ball. Castaigne tries the little chipped pass into the corridor, but it's got that hopeful feel. Egypt reading it and ready to pounce. And there's De Bruyne. Head up, scanning like a quarterback. You can feel the tempo change the moment he gets involved. If he finds that first sharp pass between the lines, Egypt's shape could crack like glass under pressure. Castaigne's the steady hand out there, the kind who keeps the engine ticking when it gets frantic. And tomorrow's slate sounds tasty.
Absolutely, that early one arrow is like a surprise earnings beat. Money chases the tape and the favorites odds gap fast. But it's also when overreaction risk peaks. One set piece and the whole book reprices like a VR check.
Seattle's a beauty for this. Tight, loud, and it feels like the crowd's sitting on the touchline. You can almost hear the pitch breathe when the noise rises, and that atmosphere can drag a team over the line when legs get heavy. Right on Puget Sound with those mountains staring you down, this place looks like it was built for big moments. Go on then, what's the Seattle discovery? Coffee that could wake a goalkeeper at midnight, or fans who sing like it's a cup final every week?
Liquidity just got yanked on both sides. Belgium bid depth halved and Egypt's support thinned too. So this market's on skates now. With that big ask still looming over Belgium, any sudden headline or chance could whip prices like a deflected shot.
Seattle coffee talk aside, Egypt are 1-0 up and the tempo's been electric. No caffeine needed. Any quick market-style take on momentum swings when an underdog leads early? Oof, that's a nasty little sting. Belgium were just starting to purr and suddenly the rhythm gets yanked away. Fadi's down and you hate to see it, but that late stretch from Tielemans has put a real edge on this one now. You can feel it, can't you? Every Egypt break is like a gust off Puget Sound. The whole place surges and Belgium wobble for a second. Last 10 minutes with that noise behind them, Egypt will fancy nicking another, but one Belgian moment and it flips in a heart. Absolutely, there's that hush before the storm. Like the crowd's holding its breath waiting for the next Egypt burst. Belgium have to weather it because one more wave with this atmosphere and it could crash right over them.
That's a clean rotation. Belgium marked down to 0.33, 0.34, while Egypt steps up to 0.36, 0.37, and the tape's basically crowning a new favorite. Belgium bid depth bounced, but it feels like bargain hunters catching a falling knife while Egypt has the wind at their back. Big tell here. Belgium pops back to 0.36, 0.37, but Egypt's bid depth collapses to basically nothing. Support just vanished. That's like a team leading but parking the bus with tired legs. One Belgium surge and Egypt can gap down fast.
Delgado's trying to light the fuse down that side, and Onana's the metronome in the middle. Belgium just begging for a spell of calm possession. But Egypt are snapping at ankles, and every pass feels like it's got a question mark on it. Doku's teasing them into shape, and Rosel's creeping higher like he smells blood. This is Belgium starting to tilt the pitch. One sharp delivery from here, and Egypt's backline will be spinning, heads on a swivel. Belgium have finally woken up. Suddenly, the passes have purpose, and Egypt are being forced to shuffle and scramble. Rosel's in his happy place now, high and hungry, and you can feel the next chance brewing like a kettle about to whistle. Ah, that's the moment. Rosal gets there and just doesn't land the punch, fluffs it when it mattered. Belgium are knocking now, but that final touch is slipping through their fingers like sand, and Egypt will fancy a break if this stays messy. That ball finally drops in, and Rosal's hovering like a striker on a trampoline, ready to pounce, but he's forced into a scramble, and you can feel the chance wobbling. One wrong touch, and it's gone. One right touch, and the net bulges.
We've lost the tape. So treat this like trading in a fog. Spreads can widen and you can get slipped hard. In these moments, the crowd overreacts to the last headline, so size down and wait for the book to come back before chasing.
Rosar's had 2 bites at the cherry and somehow comes away with juice on his shirt, but no goal. Painful. That little head back and layoff was pure street smart football, but the finish just wouldn't stick, and Belgium will be kicking themselves. Yeah, he's stretching for it, and you can see why it turns into hope more than precision, just not enough clean contact. But that header is brain over brawn, a little chess move to keep the attack alive when the shot isn't on. Rosar's doing the samba, right foot, left foot, yet the shot never arrives and the chance evaporates. Castaigne bombs on to keep it alive, but Fatou Assour rises like a lighthouse and heads it clear with authority. Crunching challenge right on the paint there, and Egypt will happily take that whistle like a cold drink in the desert. It's a little pause to breathe, reset the shape, and maybe steal a few meters upfield with this free kick. They'll stop, suck in some air, because that was the first real sustained squeeze. Waves coming in and Egypt clinging on. This breather is gold dust, but they've got to use it to calm the nerves and get a foothold again. Adia just says, enough of this, and launches it forward. Route 1, no apologies. Under that kind of pressure, sometimes you've got to flip the field, buy your team 10 seconds, and make the defenders turn. Mahmoud's been a lonely striker out there, waving for service like he's hailing a taxi in the rain. Adia tries to find him, but the support is late again. Still, that little scamper down the flank shows there's life in Egypt yet. Imo, Egypt's defending is suddenly all grit and discipline, like a stock that was volatile early but now finds a solid support level. You seeing this momentum shift as a market correction moment?
Yeah, that's a correction vibe. Early Belgium hype is getting repriced as Egypt shows structure. But the support is thin on the bid, so it's more like a brave backline without depth. One sharp move and it gaps.
And there he is, Egypt's record man, not always the one you'd pick for a dirty shift, but he's digging in. Salah's breathing down his neck too. This tournament's got that extra edge like a golden boot race with history on the line. De La Monte combs on for Ngoy, and Belgium are still searching for that spark. Egypt will remember that warm-up win, proof they can rattle the big names, so every tackle now feels like a reminder, we've done you before. Belgium were meant to be cruising, not chasing shadows, and yet here they are, hunting the game like it slipped through their fingers. That Qatar exit still stings. You can feel it in every rushed pass, every anxious glance. This is pride on the line now.
Egypt's still wearing the armband here, 37% and holding 0.36, 0.37, while Belgium can't lift off 0.33, 0.34 despite decent bids. The tell is that massive ask overhang across all outcomes. It's like playing uphill into a packed defense.
Oof, Dongo with the little shimmy, and suddenly Belgium look wobbly at the back. Aswer sniffs it out, and that pass back is all kinds of messy. Mignolet's being invited into trouble, and Egypt are smelling blood here.
Belgium's bid depth is leaking again while Egypt's ask wall is getting even thicker, so upside is capped unless a real catalyst hits. This feels like a match where the crowd wants a comeback, but the bookies keep moving the goalposts. Any pop in Belgium likely meets in...
Oh, that's careless again. 2 gifts in quick succession, and you can hear the groan in the stadium. When you're trying to calm it down, you can't keep handing out loose passes like free samples. Big names in the studio, no doubt, but the pitch is where the verdict gets written, isn't it? Belgium will want to give them something tasty to talk about because right now it's been more nerves than fireworks. De Bruyne gets it, and you're waiting for the wand. But Assur says, not today, keeps it simple and shuts the door. No frills, just good honest defending. Sometimes the best trick is refusing the trick. Assur times it nicely again, clean as a whistle, and the refs having none of the complaints. Donkewu's taking a few knocks out there. You can see the frustration building, and that's when tempers start to simmer. Imo, Belgium look a bit stuck. What's your portfolio rebalance at halftime? Where do they shift resources to create value and stop the turnovers?
Totally. Belgium's been dribbling into that cell wall and coughing it up. Halftime rebalance is trim the crowded Belgium long, rotate some exposure into Egypt or the draw where pricing's cleaner, and keep dry powder for a momentum break like a fast counter. Yeah, that's the classic go big or go home substitution. If he's truly coming on, Belgium's price can gap up fast because the book is still heavy with sellers. I'd buy it only as a quick momentum trade because that 0.34 area is a brick wall.
Egypt are reading it well right now. Castagne's delivery just won't bite, and Shabir nips in like he's got the script. Belgium haven't really laid a glove on them yet. You feel it. We're creeping to halftime in Seattle, and Egypt have that precious edge. Every tackle feels like it's got extra bite. Belgium look like they're searching for the right key, but Egypt's lock has been stubborn and loud so far.
Belgium's bid depth bounced a bit, but the story's still that massive ask wall. 840k of supply is a parked bus in front of goal. Meanwhile, Egypt's bid depth is now the strongest at 71k, and their win prob leads.
Nassour shapes it, and Migné is out like a sprinter off the blocks. Brave, sharp, no hesitation. That's a goalkeeper statement save, and Belgium needed that like oxygen. Fatou's got a wall of red in front of him. Egypt are set up like a fortress, every lane blocked. Belgium can't be timid here. If they don't move it quicker, this just fizzles out again.
Belgium's bid depth is rebuilding fast, 55k now, and win prob ticks up, so someone's stepping in to defend that 0.32 line. But the sell side is still a mountain, so this feels like a counterattack. Promising, yet one bad touch, and you're back under pressure.
That's the story, isn't it? Give Egypt a yard and they turn it into a mile, but squeeze them and the rhythm stutters. The goal was born in that rare pocket of daylight, and bang, one clean strike and suddenly Belgium are chasing shadows. You can hear it, can't you? Seattle's rocking with Egypt tonight, the noise rolling down like thunder off the stands. 4 added minutes is a lifetime at 1-0, and Belgium have to throw something bold on the table right now.
Now, Egypt's bid depth just slid hard to 38k, while Belgium holds above 52k. Momentum's quietly rotating back toward Belgium, even though the headline win probs haven't moved. Still, that 3-3 offer is the next defender to beat, until it...
De Bruyne is prowling, looking for that one pass that slices the whole thing open, but it's just not sinking, not yet. Egypt have him in a tight little cage, and Belgium's rhythm feels half a beat late every time. All that Belgian sparkle up top, and it's been like a firework that won't light. Plenty of promise, no bang. Garcia gets involved, and Egypt are still standing tall, shepherding them away from the danger zone with real discipline. You can see the coach's wheels turning. This group looks like they bought into the plan, and it's paying off. Deco tries to set the table, but Doku leans back, and the chance just floats away, and Egypt breathe again. Oh, the manager's fuming because that was gift-wrapped and Doku just didn't attack it with conviction. Belgium's gone direct and it's working. Now it's about winning those first and second balls like it's a street fight in the box. With that kind of time and space, you're thinking, hit it, son. He's got the highlight reel in his boots this season. That one begged for a bit of magic, but it slipped through Belgium's fingers like sand. Yeah, the body shape just wasn't right. No balance, no control, and the technique goes out the window. Those are the moments that haunt you at halftime because the chance was there and it's gone. Belgium wastes no time, straight from Courtois, looking to spark something with De Ketelaere. But Fatou reads it early and stands him up, and that little surge of momentum gets snuffed out before it catches fire. Imo, quick one. Talk about a star like Marmoush playing second fiddle to Haaland at City. How does that affect a player's market value and the club's investment logic? No shots on target for Belgium. That's the stat that makes you blink twice, isn't it? All that talent, and it's still shadow boxing in the final third. They need someone to grab this game by the collar and actually test the keeper. Meunier just hesitates, and you can almost hear the gears grinding. Pass, don't pass, pass. In this tempo, that split second is a lifetime, and the window slams shut before Belgium can even peek through. Belgium look oddly toothless, no shots on target and sloppy final ball. Give us a quick market analogy for a team with big assets but zero returns so far, heading into halftime. De Bruyne's the thermometer out there. When he's quiet, Belgium feel cold. You can see him scanning, demanding angles, but the rhythm just isn't flowing through him yet. If he clicks, the whole stadium changes temperature in a heartbeat. Yeah, you can see the steam coming off him now. Arms out, little shakes of the head, that come on energy. When your conductor's getting irritated, it usually means the orchestra's missing notes all over the pitch. Oh, that error was a gift-wrapped chance, and suddenly it's panic stations. Courtois snapping into action like a cat off a hot tin roof. Those are the moments that flip a half on its head, and Belgium will feel they dodged a bullet there.
Belgium price just slid to 28%, with bid depth collapsing to 10K, while Egypt jumps to 42%. Momentum swing is real. Can you frame it like a team losing midfield control and the crowd turning? Plus, what on-pitch signs match that shift?
Egypt are doing the smart thing. Take it to the corner, squeeze the clock, make Belgium chase shadows in this Seattle air. It's streetwise football. Keep the ball, win the little fouls, and let the frustration boil over.
Belgium's sliding again, 28% down to a 0.27, 0.28 market. And the bid depth is a puddle while the sell side is a tidal wave, so any bounce gets smothered fast. Egypt's holding 42% with the only real bid support.
What a shockwave this is. Egypt leading and Belgium look rattled like someone's pulled the plug on their rhythm. Over to Jules' breach now, but Belgium have got 45 minutes to stop this turning into a full-blown upset.
Totally. Possession without penetration is like heavy volume with no price discovery. It just churns. Egypt winning second balls is the market grabbing every dip, and that's how you force a repricing on the next set piece headline.
You can feel it, absolutely. Belgium look like they've got plenty of possession, but no knife to cut the rope. Everything's a half chance and a hopeful swing. If this corner turns into 2-0, that's Everest and flip-flops, and Egypt will smell blood. Salah whips it in, and Belgium are wobbling again, one of those deliveries that makes defenders backpedal like they've seen a ghost. Courtois comes because he has to, but it's chaos in the crowd, and Egypt are inches from turning panic into profit. Egypt are right on the brink of history here, 8 years away, and they've come back with fire in their boots. 1-0 up at the break, and Belgium have to wake up fast, or this becomes the upset everyone's talking about.
With the book feed down, I'm watching the tape through positioning. That monster Belgium long ATO 6-6 is still the big overhang, and any pop risks turning into forced selling. Meanwhile, the Egypt bears up ATO 8-6 0.87.
That first half has set the tournament alight, one of those score lines that makes every neutral sit up and grin. If Belgium don't flip the script, this could be the kind of day that sends shockwaves through the whole World Cup. Valvoline on the boards, and Belgium will be praying they can turn back time on that first half too, because right now Egypt have them chasing shadows, and the second half is looming like a storm cloud over the Red Devils. YouTube TV saying, don't be meh, and I'm with you. If Leighton was meh, the stadium would fall asleep. Lion is right. He's the kind of player who turns a quiet game into a roar in one touch. That's the spirit. Make it beautiful. No settling for meh when the World Cup's meant to be fireworks. Tiny tabs, big moments, and right now Egypt are writing poetry while Belgium are trying to find the pen. They're selling us restore and protect, and Belgium could use a splash of that in midfield right about now because Egypt have stripped them down to the bolt so far. Second half, we're either getting a comeback or a classic upset. Sweet and tart like this match, Egypt's been all sugar on the ball, and Belgium's tackles have had that sour edge. If the Red Devils don't find some sweetness in the final third, this rope's gonna tie up a famous scalp. IMO, they're rattling off YouTube TV and Valvoline ads like a ticker tape. Give us a quick sponsor market angle while Belgium-Egypt feels like a potential upset brewing.
Totally. Those sponsor reads are like liquidity providers. When the ads get loud, it usually means the audience is locked in and volatility is about to pick up. And with Belgium pinned under that 0-30 wall, one clean goal headline could force a sharp repricing fast.
Rent a car, sure, but Belgium need to rent a bit of rhythm and acceleration right now. Egypt are cruising in the fast lane, and if the Red Devils don't hit the throttle, this one's driving away from them.
Belgium slips back to 28% and the bid depth cooled a bit. Buyers are backing off and that .30 sell wall still looks like a brick defense. Egypt stays steady at 41% with a chunky 0.42 offer, so the path of least resistance is still solid.
Coors Light talking more goals, and the crowd would drink that up because this game's begging for a spark. Free delivery, unexpected guests. Well, Belgium's hoping a late runner crashes the box and turns this into a party.
Belgium's bid depth just jumped again, and that top bid 0.27 got beefier. Someone's stepping in like a late tackle to stop the slide, but the 0 at 30 offer is still a big defensive line, so any rally likely stalls unless that wall gets chewed through.
IMO, they're selling free delivery like guaranteed returns. How would you compare that subscription value pitch to a stock's recurring revenue story?
Exactly. Free delivery is basically the market's favorite word. Recurring revenue with sticky behavior.
Oh, that finish had ice in the veins, a shower given a postcode of space, and he mails it straight into the corner. Belgium will be fuming at the freedom, but Egypt won't care one bit. That's a halftime lead with teeth. IMO, they're talking belief in the future. Give us your market style take. How do you believe without knowing what's next, like a team chasing a late winner? IMO, they're pitching more like a last-minute winner with Pepsi. Give me your market style take on that kind of clutch branding and momentum swing.
Draw just got a real bid. Top level moved up to 0.29 with chunky size, so traders are hedging like they're protecting A11 in stoppage time. Belgium's still pinned under that 0 at 30 supply, and Egypt's book looks thin on the bid side, so volatility can spike on any.
IMO, they're name-dropping Visa.
Absolutely, that's the central bank putting goal. Fundamentals look wobbly, but one big intervention stops the panic sell. It doesn't fix the defense, it just buys time for the bulls to regroup and try a counterattack. Not much movement. Belgium's still stuck 0.28, 0.29 with that big 30 wall, so any comeback trade has to chew through serious supply. Draw liquidity actually improved on the ask side, which screams hedging at halftime rather than fresh conviction. Egypt stays favored, but that
30 caps, and he picks this stage to light the fuse. What a time to announce yourself. And you're right, it could have been 2 or 3. Egypt are turning every Belgian touch into a wrestling match in a phone booth. Courtois just slammed the door shut there, those long limbs like a crane plucking a goal out of thin air. If that goes in, Belgium are staring at a mountain, but he's keeping them alive by sheer willpower. Courtois just made a world-class save to keep Belgium alive. Feels like a blue-chip stock refusing to crash. Got a quick market metaphor for a keeper bailing out a shaky defense.
with the tape dark, spreads can get jumpy and price discovery turns into vibes. This is when you see sudden gaps and sloppy fills. Traders usually pull orders, wait for the feed to come back, then reprice fast like a team resetting after a VAR delay.
One touch, no hesitation. Ashur hits it like he's swatting a fly, and it still flies into the corner with venom. And Sissoko in the build-up, stepping out of his usual lane. That's the kind of bravery that turns a good move into a killer moment. On his birthday, and he's the one handing out presents, Sissoko's out there wrapping up tackles with a bow on top. Egypt are breaking like a snapped elastic band every time they win it, and Belgium are starting to look a little seasick. Ha, no gifts today, just hard yards and a cake made of bruises. And that teaser's tasty. A debut side nicking a point off Spain is like a startup punching the market leader. IMO, you'd call that a shock rally, wouldn't you? Debut team nicking a point off Spain. Give us your shock rally take, underdog momentum, market leader wobble, and what it says about pressure at the top. They're talking croissants and paying with a Visa. Give us a quick shock rally analogy for that debut side, nicking a point off Spain, and maybe a cheeky line about contactless spending in Fargo.
Not much movement. Belgium and the draw are still boxed in, and that big 030 ask on Belgium is basically a defender parking the bus. Egypt's still the favorite, but the ask depth is huge, so upside looks capped unless a real catalyst hits. Yeah, 2% cashback is solid if it's truly flat rate and you're not paying an annual fee. Think of it as a clean tap-in. But if it's category hoops, teaser rates, or you carry a balance, that bonus turns into an own goal fast. With the book feed down, I'm watching the tape through the big prints, and Belgium still got that massive 0.66 whale overhang like a striker who refuses to leave the box. Meanwhile, you've got chunky, bearish Egypt update. Until liquidity reappears, this is a vibes and positioning market, not a clean price discovery one.
IMO, that's a hat trick of ads, cashback, cold beer, and chocolate dreams. This broadcast is pressing higher than a front three. 1 million on the line, that's a transfer fee size prize. You'd take that and still ask for same-day delivery, wouldn't you? 3-on-3? That's street football chaos. No hiding places, just lungs and swagger, and this local crew unbeaten for ages. That's the kind of streak you love to snap, or it snaps you. Who's got the first touch? Unbeaten since 96. That's not a streak. That's a dynasty carved into concrete. Genes, always skins, techers and trash talkers, pure local folklore. But folklore bleeds when someone brings real tempo and a nasty nutmeg. IMO, this local 3v3 crew's been unbeaten since 96. Feels like an untouchable blue chip streak. Give me a quick market analogy. What breaks a run like that? A black swan or just a new disruptor? Oof, that's a red card in the living room. No VAR needed. That's brutal. Whatever the history is, you can feel the tackles flying emotionally and the kids are caught in the counterattack. IMO, that's not volatility. That's a full-on market crash. We've got whiplash here. Shakespeare-level drama into a Toyota-certified used pitch. Can you riff on the best new cars, make the best used cars line like it's a value investing play? That's a wild switch of play. Shakespeare in one breath, then a Toyota ad in the next. Legendary reliability, factory-backed warranties. Sounds like they're parking the bus with peace of mind. But are we watching football or shopping for a fullback with heated... IMO, they just hit us with a full Toyota certified used pitch. 4.99% financing, warranties, the whole package. Give me the quick market angle. Is that rate a bargain or just clever positioning right now?
Yeah, that 4.99% is less steel and more smart anchor. It sounds friendly versus today's sticker shock rates, but it's still real cost of capital. It's like a team slowing the tempo, not flashy, just positioning to keep buyers in the game.
IMO, they're pitching Toyota certified used with 4.99% financing and top resale value. Give us the quick market take. Is this smart value buying or just glossy ad talk? IMO, Toyota just blitzed us with 4.99% APR and top resale value. Give us the market angle on certified used and why resale rankings matter.
Yeah, certified used is basically the investment grade lane. Warranty plus inspection cuts downside risk, and resale rankings are your exit liquidity when you sell. The 4.99% is the promo headline, but the real alpha is slower depreciation.
IMO, Toyota just ran a full-on resale value pitch, Tacoma and Tundra top 2 by Kelly Blue Book. Give us the market angle. Does that kind of brand equity translate like a blue chip stock, or is it just ad smoke?
Totally. KBB resale leadership is brand equity you can actually cash in, like a blue chip with a tight bid-ask when you exit. It's not smoke, but you still overpay if the sticker's inflated. Alpha disappears when the crowd piles in.
That's a massive point for the debutantes. Spain knocking, and the door just wouldn't open. And Vasilyeva, my word, she's turning into a human wall out there, catching dreams like they're loose change. Tournament football, baby. One clean sheet can light a fire.
That Belgium flow is a classic whale bought the top story. Leroy Jenkins paid by 0.66 in monster size, and now the market's 0.28, 0.29, so any bounce risks turning into forced selling. With heavy offers... Yeah, that's a straight limit up move. Brands pay for reach, but they really price the conversion and the halo of a World Cup moment. Overnight, he's gone from local ad inventory to global campaign shortlist, and the first deals usually come fast and cheap.
Usher, what a strike to nick it against Belgium. That's the kind of moment that turns a whole nation's lights on. And tomorrow with Mbappe in the building, you can almost hear the turf sizzling before he even touches it. IMO, that's a market-moving headline.
Egypt's bid depth just firmed up, but that 0.42 sell wall is still a brick defense. Price can't get through without a real surge of buyers. Belgium remains stuck under 0.30 supply, so momentum's with the side that can actually clear resistance, not the... Yeah, it's a marquee signing, but the stock only cheers if it turns into upgrades and higher RPU. Otherwise, it's just a flashy warm-up. Apple benefits from ecosystem pull, while carriers win if promos lock customers in without wrecking margins.
That's the luxury talk. Platinum lounges and quiet comfort. Meanwhile, on the pitch, it's anything but quiet. It's elbows, nerves, and lungs burning. Give me the roar of a counterattack over a cappuccino any day.
Not much has changed. Belgium's inching up on paper, but the supply overhead near 0.30 still caps any rally like a packed penalty box. Egypt remains the favorite, yet that 0.42 offer stack keeps it from breaking away.
Stick to the plan, he says. Mate, that's exactly what every coach screams until one nutmeg blows the blueprint to pieces. Let's see who keeps their nerve here, because one mistake and the plan becomes a punchline. No improv? In football? That's like telling the wind to behave. These lads live for chaos. If they just head the ball, we'd miss the flicks, the feints, the madness that turns a match into a memory.
Belgium's bid depth just slipped while that Swoint 30 ask stack stays heavy, so the tape's saying, nice story, no follow through, despite the big whale prints up at 0.66. Egypt's 0.42 wall is thinning a bit, and if that cracks, you'll see a quick moment.
Whoa, tempers flaring off the ball there. Someone's losing the plot, and that can spill right onto the pitch in a heartbeat. Imo, this is like a market with no circuit breakers. One spark and it's chaos. Feels like a countdown to a flash crash moment, tension rising, one spark and everything swings. Got a quick market analogy for this kind of pressure cooker? That's a full-on ad break, crashing the match like a streaker in stoppage time. Do we leave? No chance. We ride it out and get back to the action the second the whistle blows. Imo, even you can't put a price target on that interruption.
That draw book just refilled on the offer side, so the decisive result trade lost a bit of momentum. Classic head fake. Egypt still has the cleaner bid at 0.40, but until that 0.42 wall gets lifted, it's more grind than breakout.
Another sponsor volleying in from nowhere. My word, it's like we're defending a corner from 3 different brands at once. Hold your seats. The football will be back on the menu any second, and then it's game on again.
Yeah, that's a full court press. When housing and energy brands blitz together, they're betting the consumer's still in the game. Market red. Confidence is improving, but rates are the referee here, and one whistle can flip sentiment fast.
It's raining commercials like long balls into the box. Can we get a clean passage of play, please? Imo, this is the kind of relentless pressure you only see in a bear market, and we're just trying to breathe here. Whoa, now we've gone from car deals to conspiracy thrillers. That's a wild switch of play. Imo, this is peak volatility. 1 minute APR, next minute Maryland. Can we get back to the pitch before my heart rate hits extra time?
With the book missing, the only clean signal is positioning, and it's lopsided. Belgium has a whale long from 0.66, sitting massively underwater, which can turn into forced selling on any pop. Meanwhile, you've got chunky, bearish Egypt tickets up at... Totally. This is the attention economy playing tiki-taka, pinging from rates to wellness to true crime, just to keep eyeballs on side. Feels less like a bubble and more like late cycle crowd control. When attention gets scarce, everyone bids it up like a derby ticket.
Belgium's got to turn that possession into punches. 7 swings and not a single one landed. That's shadow boxing. They need urgency, runners beyond the ball, and someone brave enough to shoot like they mean it, because Egypt are smelling that first win. Belgium can't keep knocking politely. They've got to kick the door in with tempo and width. Stretch Egypt until the seams show. But listen to that crowd, Jules. Egypt are feeding off it like it's oxygen, and every Belgian hesitation is another roar. Exactly. Belgium were all smoke and no fire, and Egypt just sat there smiling behind the barricade. Get to the byline, whip in those cutbacks, make the keeper and center backs turn and face their own goal. Then the panic starts. Imo, Belgium's attack looks like a portfolio missing its left-footed blue chip. No natural balance, no cutback supply. Give us your quick take. What's the market style adjustment here? Reallocate risk, change the shape, or make a bold substitution? No changes? Then Belgium are basically doubling down on a plan that's already been read like a bedtime story. And in that afternoon heat, legs get heavy and minds get sloppy. Perfect conditions for Egypt to nick another moment and make this place erupt. For the Belgians, this feels like playing inside a sauna. Every sprint costs double, every recovery takes a lifetime. If they don't move the ball quicker and rotate those runs, the heat won't just drain them, it'll smother their comeback. Absolutely. When the conditions bite, the game becomes a test of brains as much as boots, and Belgium look like they're still negotiating with the weather. They've got to manage the tempo, pick their moments to press, and make Egypt chase for once. Imo, this heat factor is like an external shock. Belgium's performance index dropping while Egypt's comfortable. Any quick take on how teams manage energy budgets like markets manage liquidity under stress? Egypt are loving this. Sun on their backs, rhythm in their feet, and that goal has them purring like a well-tuned engine. Belgium, you can sense a new era creeping in after this tournament, but right now Egypt are living in the moment, and they're ahead for a reason. That finish had real conviction, and Belgium have to be careful. Chase it too hard and they'll get picked off. That number 10 role is causing chaos. He's finding pockets like loose change in a sofa, and suddenly Belgium's midfield looks stretched thin. And with that right-sided runner buzzing, every transition feels like a warning siren for the back line. Seattle's been treated to a proper chess match with studs on, and Belgium are the ones staring at the board wondering where their queen went. They've got to speed up the passing, win second balls, and stop those Egyptian counters before they turn into daggers again.
Liquidity just fell off a cliff, bid depth on draw, and Egypt is tiny, and that giant 0.01 bid is basically a phantom safety net. Meanwhile, the 0.99 asks across the board look like no one wants to sell here, so any real buy pressure.
Belgium reshuffle at halftime. Doku moves central, Di wide right. Give me your market reaction take. Is this a bullish pivot or panic selling?
That's a bullish pivot, not panic. Belgium's basically rotating into higher beta to manufacture volatility and chances. But if it doesn't pay off quickly, the market will read it as desperation and fade them hard, like a team throwing bodies forward and getting picked off.
Absolutely, we did. Belgium needed a spark, and they've thrown the matchbox on straight away. Doku through the middle is pure chaos energy. If it clicks, Egypt's backline is in for a roller coaster, but it's a gamble. That's the big missing piece, isn't it? Without Lukaku, you lose that battering ram, that focal point who turns half chances into panic. If he's not right, Belgium have to score by committee, and Egypt will fancy squeezing the life out of the middle. Here we go. Doku is the spearhead, all speed and sharp turns, but can he handle the wrestling match in the middle? And now a free kick. This is the kind of moment Belgium need to make the stadium inhale all at once. Exactly. Asking Doku to play with his back to goal is like asking a sprinter to win a tug of war. Belgium need runners buzzing off him, quick 1-2s, anything to keep it on the floor, because if it turns into a physical scrap, Egypt have been defending like a unit, every attacker doing their chores, and it's making Belgium's fancy stuff look like it's happening in a phone box. You can feel the frustration building. Belgium need a moment of magic or a mistake because the door's bolted.
We're back live, and Egypt's the only side with real support. Look at that chunky 0.40 bid and bid depth jumping. That's smart money building a floor. Belgium's still pinned at 28-29 with heavy overhead supply, and the draw book is getting thin, so it's... Exactly. This is a range-bound tape, and most breakouts fail until you see real volume follow through. Belgium needs patient probing to pull sellers off the 0.29 line, then one clean catalyst run, like drawing the fullback out.
Belgium 273 minutes without a World Cup goal feels like a stock in a slump. Got any quick market correction analogy for what they need right now?
Order book's gone dark again, and that's when the market turns into a rumor mill. Any reopen can gap hard with zero warning. With that massive Belgium long sitting way above current levels, this is like defending a one-goal lead with no visibility. One bad...
Oh, that's the moment Egypt will replay in their heads all night, ball begging to be smashed home, and Zico swings at fresh air like he's slipped on a banana peel. Belgium survive by the skin of their teeth, and you can feel the whole game wobble on that myth.
Belgium slipping again, 26-27 tells you the market's fading that breakout story, and the ask side is still a brick wall. Egypt's holding 243 with real bids, so sentiments like an away team controlling tempo. Steady, disciplined.
Pyramids making noise in a land of giants. Winning the Champions League is like turning up to a blue chip party in a new suit and stealing the spotlight. And you can see that confidence in Egypt's runs beyond the line. Now they just need the finish to match the ambition.
Not much love for Belgium here. Price is stuck at 26-27 while the sell side depth keeps swelling, so every little uptick is getting met by supply. Draws quietly creeping to 32%, which screams late game nerves unless Belgium finds a real catalyst.
IMO early second half intensity here. Spain versus Camp Verde has that underdog energy. Give us a quick market style take. Momentum swings, risk management. Who looks like the safer asset right now? IMO, Egypt leading Belgium. Proper underdog story brewing in Seattle. Give us a quick market reaction take. Is this a shock rally or a bubble about to... Trossard's got it glued to his boot, teasing the defender like he's got a secret tucked in that left foot. But with nothing on target, Belgium need less poetry and more end product. Release it, lad, or the moment evaporates. Belgium racking up fouls early in the second half. Tactical stop the run stuff. Feels like risk management gone wrong. What's your take on that kind of accumulating cost in a game?
Totally. Those fouls are like paying wider and wider spreads to avoid a drawdown. It works until the bill comes due. One cheap yellow turns into a set-piece XG spike, and suddenly your hedge becomes the catalyst for the move against you.
Doku's getting hacked down and Belgium are trying to buy territory the hard way. 2 quick fouls and the ref's notebook is starting to itch. Tielemans drifting like a false nine is clever, but it's all shadow boxing until someone actually lands a punch. Belgium with 0 shots on target feels like a blue chip stock with no earnings. Jump in with a quick market analogy. Pressure building, but no conversion yet. Doku tries to wriggle free, but that's a wall of shirts. Perfectly timed, perfectly disciplined. They've smothered the spark again. Belgium are huffing and puffing, but the door's bolted shut right now. IMO, Egypt are defending like a blue chip stock. Solid, no volatility, while Salah's goal is the only dividend so far. Belgium with 0 shots on target. What's your take on that kind of market pressure in a match?
Nailed it. Belgium's buying pressure is just volume without impact, like bids that never lift the offer. When there's no shot on target, the market stops believing in the breakout and starts fading every push, and Egypt's holding that lead like a tight spread.
It's getting a bit feisty around that free kick. Little elbows, little whispers, everyone trying to buy an inch. De Bruyne picks it up on the left, and there's nobody hugging the touchline. It's all crowded inside like rush hour traffic. Someone's got to stretch it.
Belgium just caught a little bid back to 27-28, but it's still a relief rally into a huge wall of supply, like a late push that keeps getting headed away. Egypt's bid depth is thinning, so if Belgium finally lands a shot, this can reprice fast, but that's why 6-6 whale is
IMO, this free kick's a proper set-piece moment. Potential danger, temper simmering. Give us your market volatility take. Who's under pressure here, Belgium or Egypt, and why?
Yeah, this is the earnings call moment. One headline and the whole tape gaps. Belgium's under more pressure because they need a catalyst, while Egypt's defending a lead, so any foul here is like a sudden margin call risk.
They're chopping Doku down like a tree every time he turns. Egypt are basically saying, anywhere but the box, son. But that's the danger. You clamp one door shut and De Bruyne slips through the other, suddenly with space to hurt you. Oh, that's a rash one. Atia's left a little gift right in the danger zone. Prime real estate for a set-piece assassin. Now then. You can feel the stadium holding its breath because one clean strike here and the net could bulge. IMO, Belgium have a free kick in prime De Bruyne territory after a clumsy challenge. Crowds on edge. Give me a quick market reaction metaphor. Is this a blue chip moment or a risky punt? De Bruyne over it, and you just know he's got that cheeky under-the-wall trick in his back pocket. Shabir's peeking, the wall's twitching. This is a staring contest with a cannon at the end of it.
Whoa, Belgium just got dumped from 28s down to 24-25. That's a momentum swing like conceding on the counter. Egypt rips up to 43-44 with bid depth surging, and the draw book thickening says the crowd's bracing for Belgium to chase and leave gaps.
Belgium need a spark and the fuse is lit. De Bruyne is standing over it like a maestro with a loaded wand. If this dips, swerves, or sneaks, we're talking instant redemption. Here he goes.
Egypt's bid stack just ballooned, real money sitting at 0.43, so sentiments flipped to protect the lead mode. Belgium's still trapped under $1 million wall of offers, and the draw has that chunky 0.33 ask like a defender parking the bus.
Oof, that's the sound of a nation exhaling so close it's kissing the paint. The wall didn't bite like it should, and De Bruyne nearly punished them for it. Inches the wrong side, and Belgium are still chasing that lifeline. That dip was filthy, like the ball hit a trapdoor mid-flight. The wall stayed honest, didn't give him the cheap lane, and it's the tiniest margin that keeps it out. Here come the changes, fresh legs, fresh ideas, and you can feel both benches trying to tilt the table. If those names step in with energy, it's like adding a new gear late in the race. One spark and this match ignites again. That's proper end-to-end stuff. Egypt slicing through like a hot knife, and suddenly Belgium are sprinting backwards. Castaigne has to dig in their last-ditch composure because one wrong step and Salah's in the VIP section. Ah, that chest touch just ran away from him. One of those where the ball says see ya and the defender says thank you very much. Egypt had the runway, but that little bobble kills the takeoff and hands Belgium a lifeline. Salah whips it in, but Belgium read it like tomorrow's headlines. Easy clearance, no panic. Corners are piling up like pressure in a boiler, though, and Belgium will be glad to just get a boot on it and breathe.
Belgium just slipped again to 2021 and the bid depth evaporated. Buyers are backing away like a team losing belief after a missed sitter. Egypt's up to 48-49 with a cleaner book, so momentum traders are pressing that side and forcing Belgium longs to sweat.
Mahmoud's on and he's already teasing defenders like he's got the ball on a string. Cheeky, fearless. He thought, I'll do this myself, and you love that swagger, but Belgium will be begging someone to put a body in his way. Machuli snuffs it out, but Egypt come right back, wave after wave. You can feel the tide rising. The cross flashes in and bodies collide in the box, but it just won't quite drop. Belgium's alarm bells are clanging again, and the bench is finally moving. This feels like damage control more than tactics. Castaigne heads off. Onana follows. Nicola Raskar steps in. Rangers man, fresh legs, and you can feel the tempo shift with him. These are the moments newer faces either hide or announce themselves with one big touch. Big moment. Two like-for-like changes, nice and tidy on paper. Decabri slots in at left back, and the midfield gets a fresh engine too. But like-for-like doesn't always mean like-for-like in chaos, Rob. One loose touch, and Belgium are right back on the ropes.
Belgium's back to 2021, and that ask wall just got heavier. 970k on the offer is basically defenders parking the bus against any rally. Egypt's spread widens 248-50 with thinner bids, so it's favored but a bit jumpy. Draw stays the Now Egypt's pushing up to 50-51, and the win prob ticks 49%. That's the market saying they've got the run of play, and it's starting to look one way. Belgium's still stuck at 2021 with big supply overhead, like a team pinned in its own half, just clearing lines. Belgium slips to 19-20, and the win prob dips to 20%. That's the market quietly taking them off the pitch. Draw tightens to 30-31 with bid depth jumping, so traders are parking money in the 0-0 insurance, while Egypt holds the momentum at 40.
Low center of gravity, buzzing around like a wasp in a phone box. He's got that snap in the legs. And here's Salah. Machurik trying to cling to him again, but that's like trying to hold on to smoke when Mo turns on the jets. IMO. Egypt are flying into tackles. Full commitment, maybe reckless. Give me a quick market analogy. Is Belgium's composure like a blue chip under pressure or about to crash?
Totally. Egypt's tackles are like a momentum trade with leverage, thrilling, but one mistimed lunge and it's a penalty-sized margin call. Belgium right now feels less blue chip, more fallen angel trying to stabilize. One clean break.
Egypt still hanging on to that no, and you can feel every tackle has a little extra bite. Sometimes it's bravery, sometimes it's a booking waiting to happen. And that stat is looming like a shadow, but right now they're writing a new page with sweat and stubbornness.
Yeah, that's the classic early drawdown. Once a favorite slips, the crowd stops buying dips and starts selling rallies. It's like a top seed conceding first. The tape turns emotional, spreads widen, and one more bad touch can trigger a full capitulation.
Los Angeles next. Big stage, big lights, and no hiding place out there. If Belgium don't show up with a spark, the California sun will feel very cold very quickly. Belgium have to find that extra gear right now. This is the moment where nearly turns into not enough. Dallaire drifting into those pockets looking for a seam, but Egypt are snapping shut like a trap every time.
We're basically range-bound. Belgium stuck 21, Egypt steady 49-50, and the draw back to 38-31. No one's landing the knockout punch. What jumps out is the huge ask walls, especially on Egypt, which screams sell into strength if any good news hits.
He tries to bring it down on the right. First touch is everything here, but Egypt are swarming like bees around honey. No time to breathe, no space to turn, and Belgium are being forced into rushed decisions. IMO. They've just name-dropped Infantino on air. Give us your quick take on the politics and money pressure around these tournaments, because the tension's spilling onto the pitch. Infantino in the seats, well, you'd hope he's paying full price like the rest of us, eh? But Egypt winning the ball again, and you can feel the momentum tilting. Belgium need to stop this tide before it turns into a wave. Infantino's just watching, but Rosar's movement is the real headline. Darting, checking, trying to shake his marker like a loose shirt in the wind. Belgium have to read those runs quicker, or Egypt will keep nicking it and breaking. De Bruyne just can't get it under his spell there, and suddenly Salah's got it. Danger lights flashing. Marmouche is striding forward like he owns the pitch, and Belgium are backpedaling, praying someone steps in before it turns into a clear sight of goal.
That's a clean momentum swing. Belgium slips to 18-19 while Egypt firms up at 51-52. Money's rotating to the side that looks calmer. And with Belgium's ask depth still towering, any rally feels like a counterattack running straight into a packed defense.
Marmish has Ngoy on toast there. He's wriggled free and you're thinking, this is it. But he hesitates that split second. The defender nibbles back in and the chance just slips through Egypt's fingers like sand.
Prices are barely moving now, but the tell is liquidity. Egypt bid depth just got cut in half while staying 51 on 52, so that support's a bit thinner than it looks. Belgium still pinned under a massive sell-side wall. Any bounce is fighting uphill like a...
De Bruyne drifting inside now, trying to grab the steering wheel and change the rhythm. Doku's got that electric first step. If he gets a yard, the whole Egyptian backline starts wobbling like it's on roller skates. De Bruyne tucking into the middle again. You can feel Belgium trying to turn the screw. And Doku, he's pure spark plug football. One burst, and suddenly Egypt are scrambling, shouting, pointing, trying to plug the gaps. Doku hits the deck looking for a whistle, but the ref's having none of it. Too soft, too theatrical. He's overrun the touch, and honestly, he's fortunate it doesn't boomerang into a booking for trying to buy one. Belgium reset, and you can see them trying to play with a bit more patience now, probing like a locksmith with a fresh set of keys. Egypt are set, compact, and ready to pounce the moment a pass gets lazy. That's a teasing ball in, and Belgium squeeze out a corner. Set piece time, hearts and mouths. You can feel the crowd inhale here because one good delivery and it's chaos in the 6-yard box. Belgium have got the pieces on the board, but the moves aren't clicking yet. Everything's a half second off. Plenty of time, sure, but you can sense the frustration bubbling as Egypt keeps slamming the door.
Now Egypt ticks up to 52-53 and Belgium leaks to 17-18. Sentiments turning into a one-way street. But look at that. Bid depth on Egypt just surged, so the crowd's piling in. If the game flow flips, that's a crowded long that can unwind fast.
De Bruyne absolutely leathered that. Pure thunder off the boot. It ricochets back invitingly and Tielemans is sniffing around the rebound, and for a split second you thought the net was about to bulge. De Bruyne just unleashed a rocket and Tielemans nearly cashed in on the rebound. Belgium's pressure is rising. Give us a quick market momentum take. Are we seeing a late surge building?
Despite the on-field pressure, the market's not buying it yet. Belgium still stuck at 17-18 and Egypt holding 253. That tells you traders want a goal, not vibes. Until then, Belgium's rally attempts keep getting stuffed at the line.
Doku's got them moving now. Suddenly there's zip, there's purpose. Belgium finally waking up. De Bruyne tries to thread the needle, but Shabir gets a touch and it just takes the shine off the moment. You can see it on De Bruyne's face. He's furious with himself. He knows that should have been cleaner. But the tempo's up now. Runners flying beyond the ball and Belgium are starting to smell blood. That'll count as the first one they've actually made the keeper deal with. Even if it's not vintage De Bruyne, he'll want to bury that 9 times out of 10, but it's a little warning flare. Belgium are knocking on the door now. Yeah, it's on the stats sheet, but not in the highlight reel. De Bruyne wanted that tucked away, not politely returned. Still, sometimes that first poke at the door is all you need before it swings. Oh, here we go. Lukaku's getting the call, and that's a whole different problem for the defenders, like adding a wrecking ball to a toolbox. Belgium have been knocking, now they're bringing the battering ram. That's the spirit. Get involved and ride the wave. And here comes Doku again, dancing on the ball like it owes him money, dragging defenders out of shape and daring Belgium to pounce. That ball's just overcooked and the defending stands firm. Belgium can't afford to admire their work here. They've got to strike while the iron's hot. But Doku's feet, oh, they're pure mischief. Defenders lining up like it's rush hour.
Big shift. Egypt firms up to 53-54, and more importantly, that bid depth explodes with size sitting right 82.53. Someone's building a real support wall. Belgium slipping to us 16-17 feels like the market saying possession doesn't pay. That Egypt support wall just got thicker. Top bid at 0.53 is growing, so sentiments leaning protect the lead, even without a goal on the board. Belgium still pinned at 16-17, and that's like endless crosses with no striker. Lots of activity.
Yeah, there's a little question mark hanging over that substitution. Match sharpness isn't something you can fake under World Cup lights. But even at 80%, Lukaku's a handful. Belgium are gambling on presence and power to break this deadlock. It's a real manager's dilemma, isn't it? Do you roll the dice now or keep the ace in the pack? Garcia might be thinking, I'd rather not, but when the goal won't come, you start reaching for anything with a big reputation and bigger shoulders. Oof, that's a heart stopper. Salah just nudges it into danger and Mahmoud lets it fly, and that wicked little deflection nearly turns into a nightmare for Belgium. You could feel the stadium inhale there, so close to chaos. That run from Asher is pure mischief, drags the line back. Here we go, Lukaku's getting the nod, and you can feel the temperature rise in the stands. Belgium are basically saying, enough of the warning shots, and Egypt's backline just got a brand new problem to solve. What a block, thrown body, brave as you like, and it keeps Belgium alive, but you're right. Once it ricochets off a defender, it's like a lottery ticket in a hurricane. Nobody knows where it's landing. Belgium looking shaky. Egypt's counters are like sudden market sell-offs. Got a quick analogy for how a team manages risk when the threat is constant? IMO, Leo here. Crowded box on that delivery, total congestion. It's like a packed trading floor when volatility spikes. Give us your quick market analogy. When do you go direct and when do you recycle possession?
Exactly, Leo. When the box is crowded, going direct is like hitting a market order in a thin book. You might get the goal or you get terrible slippage. Recycling is working the limit orders. Probe, pull defenders out, then strike when the spread finally opens.
Yeah, the minutes haven't been kind, but Lukaku doesn't need a long runway. Give him one decent delivery and he can bulldoze a game open. It's like bringing on a wrecking ball with a bandage on it, still terrifying for defenders.
Massive momentum flip. Belgium rockets from mid-teens to mid-40s while Egypt collapses to low teens. Classic crowd stampede after a key chance goal swing. Feels like a stop, run, and short squeeze. Worth calling the psychology of one moment changes everything on comm. Nailed it. Once the catalyst hits, it's less valuation and more positioning, and Belgium's tape is screaming chase. Egypt's basically playing defense like a market maker widening spreads, trying to slow the flow and survive the burst.
IMO, you called it. This is a pure sentiment squeeze. One Lukaku own goal on the sheet, but everyone in that stadium knows who forced it. Lukaku's sheer gravity drags mistakes out of defenders. Belgium have got their lifeline now, and you can feel the whole match tilt on its axis. IMO, that swing you spot.
Yeah, that's star gravity. One touch and everyone reprices like they just saw earnings beat. The beneficiaries are the fast chasers and the market makers leaning on that huge sell side wall. If the follow-through stalls, late buyers get caught offside. Absolutely, he's the liquidity event that flips the tape from range-bound to breakout wall.
It's level now, and Belgium finally look like they've got a heartbeat. Lukaku's presence is basically a tax on defenders. They pay it in panic. IMO, that's like a market catalyst, isn't it? One big player steps in and suddenly everything...
Totally. AT11, it's like a surprise macro print. Correlation snap, spreads widen, and everyone hits refresh on fair value. Momentum shifts to the side with the deeper bench and better set pieces, but late chasers can still get whipsawed on the next counter. Now the draw is pushing 49% and Belgium's back to 40%. That's a momentum shift toward this day's level as the clock chews up opportunity. The big tell is Belgium's ask depth ballooning near $1 million, so every uptick is getting met like a defender. Belgium's still stuck around 40 cents, but Egypt just caught a bid up to 15%. That's the market hedging the smash and grab risk. And Belgium's sell side is now a 1.0 wall, so upside's a grind unless we get a clean catalyst.
That Lukaku presence factor just flipped the whole game. Feels like a market catalyst where one big player enters and everything reprices. Give us the finance analogy on momentum shifting at 1-1. Ha! That's proper travel advice. Cross the pond, keep your wits about you, and don't wander where the tackles get a bit too crunchy. We'll take you home safe, mate, and hopefully Belgium keep playing like they've finally found the map.
Draws leaking from 49 to 45, while Egypt's creeping up to 15%. That's classic late chaos pricing, not confidence in Belgium. Belgium can't lift because that near one ask wall is sitting like a back four on the 6-yard line.
Easy does it. Visa says it's all a tap-in, but that chance needed a surgeon's touch. First real warning shot, and you can feel the tempo jump like someone's just hit fast forward. Listen to that roar. America doesn't whisper. It kicks the door off the hinges and calls it a statement. The stadium's shaking like a drum line, and the players are feeding off it. This is turning into a proper heavyweight scrap.
We're basically range-bound. Belgium pinned at 39.40, draw steady at 45.46, and Egypt holding 14.15. Nobody's taking the next big swing. The only real tell is draw liquidity thickening 80.46, like the market parking the bus and daring someone to break.
Ha! From In Loud We Trust straight into Nutella, this broadcast is doing step-overs on my brain, but I'll tell you what, the crowd's energy is spreading like that chocolate, sticky, sweet, and impossible to ignore. Nutella peanut is the super sub for snack time. Creamy on the build-up, crunchy on the finish. If the match stays this lively, Amo's gonna need...
AT11, the safe asset is the draw. Market's happy to park there because it's the most probable settlement. Belgium becomes the high beta play. They've got the brand name, but one sloppy turnover and Egypt's upset tail risk spikes.
IMO, this ad copy is wild and in loud we trust to Nutella Peanut to welcome to my house. Give me your take. Is this brand pivot genius or just market noise?
Belgium's bid depth keeps building, but the price is still stapled to 0.39 to 0.40 because that heavy offer stack is absorbing everything. Draw remains the market's default outcome with that chunky 0.46 wall. This feels like a nil. Now the draw book just got a lot cleaner on the offer side. Ask depth dropped hard and the top ask jumped to 0.99, which screams pulled liquidity. That's the kind of setup where one decent buy wave can gap the price like a counterattack when the defense.
Lukaku comes on and scores in under half a minute. Talk about instant impact. Give me a market analogy. That's a blue